Hey, welcome to Boozy Bookshelf, the podcast where I revisit my favorite childhood books with adult eyes and an impaired mind. My name is Ashley, and this week I'm joined once again by my lovely roommate Crystal. We're reading chapters 1 through 4 of Frostbite by Richelle Mead, and this is our first time reading, and we're very excited to get into it. What are we drinking, bud?
I am sipping on rosé, the black box, but then we also have Cabernet from the White House.
I think that the brand is called White House or Lighthouse, something like that. I don't know, but we also have Cabernet. I feel like my voice is really annoying. What did you do today?
Well, we got off work, we went to the gym, and then we decided to go to the beach and read while we drank wine. And my body decided that that was the perfect time to have to vomit. So, and it came out of nowhere. We were just sitting on the beach, minding our own business, reading, and I just look over at Ashley and I was like, I'm gonna puke. And next thing you know, I'm just hurling in the sand. I also peed in the sand.
It was an eventful day.
It really made me scared.
I think that there's like a stomach bug going around because I got really nauseous last night for like no reason at all.
But I also be drinking without eating, so
Yeah, we haven't been doing very good at eating well balanced meals lately.
what's a well balanced meal?
What book are we reading? It's a new book.
We are starting Frostbite!
The second book in the Vampire Academy series. Are you so excited?
I am so excited. It starts out with a shebang, and I feel like I can see what people mean now. Like, the first one didn't suck, but the other ones are so much better. They just dive right into it, and I really, really appreciated that. Go, Richelle Mead.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because I was complaining literally last episode that nothing happens in the first 15 chapters of the first book. And the first two chapters of this book, we've already got mass murder. So I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
Yeah, I mean, you get to chapter 2, and they're just like, let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Our first official episode of Frostbite. Chapter 1 starts with Lissa telling Rose that her medication may not be working as well because she feels closer to her magic. She tells Rose not to worry about it since she's taking her qualifier today. The qualifier is an interview exam that all guardians have to pass. Rose should have taken it junior year, but she hadn't been in school, so now she has to go off campus to take it. Rose reaches out to Lissa through the bond and feels mostly content, but she does have some darker feelings in the back of her mind. Rose suddenly feels like she's touched the darkness, and the feeling makes her nauseous. Then the darkness just disappears. Rose hurries across campus and meets Dimitri. He tells her that they are the only people going on this trip and that it's a 5-hour drive. They leave the school, and Rose is nervous for her interview, but also distracted by the smell of Dimitri's aftershave in the car. Dimitri tells her that Arthur Schoenberg will be interviewing her. This makes Rose more nervous because the guy is apparently an absolute legend. Dimitri can tell that Rose is nervous and he tries to reassure her. She gets distracted again when she looks at him and sees that he is much more relaxed than usual. She teases him about the music that he chose for the drive and they banter a little bit, and then they arrive at their destination and get out of the car. There's snow on the ground and Rose slips. Dimitri reaches out to study her and she makes a comment about the family not salting the icy path. Dimitri suddenly freezes and gets very tense. He studies the house for a moment before approaching the door. He sees the door slightly ajar and sternly tells Rose to go back to the car. She retreats and watches as Dimitri enters the house. Rose notices that the snow around the house is completely untouched and it looks like no one has been near the house in days. Arthur Schoenberg works with the Batica family, and Rose starts to worry that something has scared them off. Rose walks to the back of the house and finds a silver stake in the snow sticking out of the ground. She reaches the back patio and sees that the glass door has been shattered. She enters the house and sees a body covered in dry blood. And then she realizes that there's also a bunch of other bodies nearby and that one of them is a child. She starts to scream, but then a hand covers her mouth, but she only panics for a second though because she smells Dimitri's aftershave again and realizes that it's him. Rose is unable to look away from the bodies. She realizes that one of the bodies is Arthur Schoenberg, and she is shocked. Dimitri takes the silver stake from Rose's hand and says that it must have been used to break the ward. Strigoi can't touch stakes, but Dimitri suggests that a human might have helped them. And Dimitri looks at Rose with sympathy and tells her that this changes everything. Then, chapter 2, they sit in silence for a while they wait for the Guardian team to arrive. Rose is scared and wishes that Dimitri would comfort her, but she knows that he can't as her mentor. When the Guardians show up, Dimitri tells Rose to come with him. The Guardians inspect the house, and Rose sees the only female crouching by Arthur Schoenberg. She tells the group that he was her mentor, and Rose wonders how she would react to finding Dimitri dead. Dimitri asks Rose to explain how the Strigoi had gotten in. She explains that there were 4 points of entry with 10 kills. She thinks that there were at least 6 Strigoi and that they surprised the family by getting past the wards. Dimitri nods his approval, and then they continue through the house. There is a note written in blood on the mirror that says the Strigoi are trying to wipe out the royal families. Rose worries about Lissa for the remainder of their time in the house and is filled with the desire to kill the Strigoi. When they get back into the car, Rose yells at Dimitri that she wants to rip out the Stragoy's throats and then apologizes when she realizes that she just isn't ready for that. Dimitri places his hand on hers for a moment and then starts the car. When they get back to the school, Rose finds Lissa and Christian in the library, and she tells them that she had been at the house and found the bodies. They discuss how this will affect things over Christmas break. Christian's Aunt Tasha is coming to visit, but most Moroi are afraid to travel. Lissa banters with Christian, and Rose feels jealous, and then she gets up and goes to bed.
All right, so I'm just gonna hop right in here. All right, so in the second chapter, Rose says that she got abnormally angry, like more angry than normal. Do you think that has something to do with Lissa's mental state somewhat deteriorating?
So I almost wonder if that darkness that Rose saw in Lissa's mind, and when she like tried to kind of shove it back further into Lissa's head, I wonder if she like touched it and like took it from her.
Yeah, like we were talking about in the last book. Like Lissa may be able to use her magic as long as Rose takes some from her or some of the pain. You know what I mean? That's a good dot connector right there. You should be playing connect the dots.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that you're right. I think that when Rose saw that darkness, she somehow like sucked it out of her, and now it's like trapped in her head, because she definitely was feeling like rage and anger in ways that she has never felt before. And she seemed to be triggered kind of easily. Like, I know it's a dark situation and Rose already has a temper, but I feel like it was an overreaction even for her.
If you were to have to guess right now, do you think Victor's behind the humans helping the Strigoi? Do you think he's gonna try and greaten the I guess kind of create more mass hysteria about Strigoi to be able to get his way?
I honestly don't think that we're going to see Victor for a while, if we even see him again. My thoughts originally were Miss Carp.
But why would Miss Carp want to kill the royal families when she did what she was trying to help Lissa in the beginning? I know once you become a Strigoi, you're technically bad, but since she had the power, I feel like she might I don't know. I just feel like the people who are the chosen ones like Vladimir and Lissa and Miss Carp, they might be more well equipped to be able to handle being a Strigoi, but I don't know. I don't see why she'd be trying to kill out the royal family. I think we'll see her in this book, but I don't think she'll be a bad guy.
I honestly think that if we see Ms. Carp again ever, it's going to be as a villain, but I don't know. I'm still kind of developing that theory. I don't know. I feel like the Strigoi are just trying to wipe out the royal family, like for fun. Maybe. I don't know. Or
I mean, what are they going to get out of destroying all the royal? I mean, it's not like that would destroy the Moroi. Like, I don't know, just somebody else would step forward. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
yeah, no, I feel like the Strigoi maybe are just trying to like cause a panic with the Moroi and the Dampiers and try to like kind of get them into a panic so that they're unprepared because they're panicking.
Yeah, a lot happened. My head's kind of like
We are 2
racing.
chapters in and I'm already going a mile a minute in my brain.
Yeah, this. I mean, I can tell I'm already gonna love this book.
The first note that I made was that the prologue was so cheesy and it felt like it was written by a 14-year-old. But
I didn't even read it.
but that's fine. You already mentioned Lissa's powers getting stronger. Do you think that her powers are getting stronger? Or do you think that her medication is just not working as well?
I think her power is still growing in the background, but I think her medication is preventing her from feeling that. I don't want to see her go off her meds, but I can tell that's probably going to be a story arc. Lissa and Rose are going to fuck around with her sucking her bad feels out. Dude, I wish you could do that to me.
Oh my gosh, I think I have enough bad feels of my own.
My next question, can I go?
Yes, please.
All right. So when they first entered the house, Rose found that stake in the yard. I thought it was pretty cool. We got to see more about how they were made and what it means. I really liked that because in most stories, a silver stake is a silver stake, and that's what it is. But this one actually is like magic rings and wards, and it takes normally like 4 Moroi magic users to make one.
Yeah, they explained that the wards are made by one of each specialty of magic users coming together and doing a spell to create the ward. And they said that the wards take a lot of upkeep, but that large gatherings of Moroi will generally have them. And that when you stab a silver stake into the ward, it will break the ward. And that's how the Strigoi got in. But the humans had to have helped the Strigoi because there's no way that a Moroi or a Dampier had done that.
I really, really, really like the idea that some humans are going to be the protagonist in this
Well, it
story.
makes sense because I'm sure that there's plenty of humans that are chasing immortality. And so the Strigoi are probably like, oh, yeah, like I'll make you immortal and give you all these awesome super strength, super speed. You'll live forever as if you help me do this. I got chills when Dimitri said that this would change everything. I really do think that it's going to change a lot in their world with the humans helping the Strigoi because all of the weaknesses that the Strigoi had, other than sunlight, pretty much at this point, like the only thing that is keeping them safe at this point is
Oh,
sunlight.
yeah, I definitely think that's some heavy foreshadowing. I didn't look at it that way at first, but too big of a coincidence for this to happen. And we find out that humans and Strigoi are partnering up together. And then he were to say that. But I actually have a question to piggyback off that. So if Dimitri and Art were on a first name basis, clearly the plans weren't just freshly made. I mean, I feel like somebody would have had more contact with Art for 2 days. Like they were, I don't know. How did they not know he was dead if Dimitri was in communication with him?
Well, I mean, Dimitri doesn't seem like the type to be on the phone a lot. I'm sure that he probably called him and like made the plans to get Rose over there to like do her test or whatever. And then he probably was just like, okay, I'll be there at this time. Like, see you then. And then just trusted that he would, be alive.
Fucking Art dying. Jesus.
The scene where the female guardian was leaning over Arthur and saying that it was her mentor, like, and then Rose thinking about what she would do if Dimitri died and she found his body.
Do you think Tamara is Dimitri's new boo thing? I I mean the way they introduced her, I really think that's his new boo thing, and then Rose made it a point to talk about her hair. I just think that's it. I think that's the boo thing.
I could definitely see that. Rose did notice that she had dark hair, and we know that Dimitri likes dark hair.
I can see Dimitri using her as a rebound to try and get over Rose to like try and correct his feelings. I don't think he's gonna have genuine love for this girl, but I definitely see it probably destroying Rose, and then Rose will go date Mason.
Yeah, I definitely think that Rose and Mason are going to have some good scenes this book. I also noted that I think that that's foreshadowing the only female guardian being like, "Oh, he was my mentor and now he's dead." And I honestly do think that that's foreshadowing and I'm really worried that Dimitri's going to die.
See, I don't see Dimitri dying. Maybe not in this book. I mean,
Oh, I don't think he's going to die in this book, but somebody on Twitter told me that Last Sacrifice was the saddest book they've ever read. And I this feels like foreshadowing. Much like the last book when they were in the car on the way home from the mall and they were talking about how they would want somebody to kill them if they became Strigoi. I feel like Dimitri's going to die.
I don't think that Big Daddy Duster's gonna die. I really don't.
I honestly think that he will. Cuz like what else could be that sad in the last book unless it's like Christian or Lissa? Like it has to be one of the main people.
I don't think he's gonna die. I really just don't. I feel like we have way too many characters to meet, way too many story plots to get through, and we could have a different opinion this time in the next book.
Somebody's dying in this book.
I feel like Lissa's gonna die.
I could see Lissa dying. Rose has like sworn to protect her, but then I could also see an arc where like Dimitri, the person that he was protecting, died and he had to get over that and then he's warned Rose about it. So I could see Alyssa dying and then there being an arc between Dimitri and Rose where he's like trying to help her deal with it the way that he dealt with
Do
it.
you think Rose will become a good enough guardian to where Dimitri's a god, Dimitri's invincible. Do you think that he's gonna turn and Rose is gonna have to kill him protecting Lissa? I feel like that could be it.
Oh my gosh.
Because of all the foreshadowing in the previous book, he was like, I would save you, not her, and I feel like she's gonna grow as a guardian up to where she can like departmentalize.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm I'm getting on that theory train right there. Do you still think that Christian's gonna die? Because I don't. I really think Dimitri's gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think of all the possible ways for him to die and like what use would come of it, but with all the foreshadowing, as you said, that ending makes a lot of sense. And the moment I find out I'm right, I'm breaking a window.
Just don't break one in the house. Um,
I'm gonna break that window right there.
I liked these two chapters. They were much more fast paced than the last book. They're already a lot darker as well. That we've already seen a lot more death, and I can tell that some of the characters are going to start dying soon. And Rose is also going to be forced to grow up quickly if she's surrounded by such morbid shit all the time. And also, she's already being put in more like grown up situations where Dimitri was like, "Oh, you should see how this is done," and like took her back through the house of all the bodies. And the other guardians were just kind of like asking her, like, "Oh, how do you think this happened?" And like everybody was so calm, even though she was like freaking out on the inside.
I want to talk about how he clearly just wants that mentor mentee relationship, but he did a lot of things subconsciously to ease Rose's feelings, and I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, she mentioned that there was like a flash of sympathy in his eyes, and when Rose was freaking out, he like put his hand over hers to kind of calm her down. And when she slipped on the ice, he caught her.
That was so cute. Oh my goodness. See now, but all I'm thinking about how like the first scene in the movie when he kicks her and then he catches her, she like just slowly floats back. So I can't read those without thinking about that.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. God, the movie was so bad. I still have to edit that episode. I think that Rose is gonna have to kill Ostrogoy soon. I really do, because in the car, she realized that she really isn't ready to kill Ostrogoy, no matter how bad she wants to. And I feel like that's foreshadowing. I feel like she's not going to be ready to kill Ostrogoy, and she's going to have to.
I see it coming. Do you think she'll still have the hesitation issue like she did with Natalie?
I think that depends on if it's Ostrogoy that she knows or not. Like somebody that she knew before they
Do
turned.
you think Dimitri knew that Rose was going to sneak off and see Alyssa as soon as she got back? Okay, the scene with them and how Christian was just laying on her lap and then things got tense and he held her hand. I thought that scene was really cute.
I love Christian Ozera. Oh, we get to meet Christian's badass aunt.
Oh, yeah.
He said that Tasha's coming to visit for Christmas, and Tasha was the one that, as a Moroi, tried to fight off his parents when they were Strigoi. And so I feel like there's going to be a scene with her like talking to Rose about like not hesitating maybe. I'm pretty excited to see Tasha cuz she's got to be a badass.
You think Dimitri's gonna fuck Tasha or Rose's mom?
He's definitely not going to fuck Rose's mom. I liked your theory about Tamara or Tamara, however you say that, the female guardian that was Arthur's mentee. I like that theory a lot.
I just don't see who else it would be. I mean, on the back, like the summary, it says that he's gonna meet a new love interest, and what better way to introduce her than that, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. These two chapters were more eventful than the entire last book.
I liked all the world building and character development in the first book, but I am actually really excited to get to the nitty gritty. I just feel like this book is going to be so much more developed, and I don't know. I'm just really excited. Like, I'm excited to end this one and read more.
I'm really excited too. I'm excited for Rose to be out of high school also. What after reading the first two chapters, what are your theories about what is going to happen in this book specifically? Based on what we read on the back of the book and based on those two chapters, what do you think is going to happen in this book?
Well, if you think about it, there's going to be a huge dilemma. Not only would the humans helping the Strigoi mean they can do the things in the daytime, but that would mean Moroi are going to have to be turned Strigoi because they're going to have to kill humans. I think it's going to be a whole moral dilemma. I see a war between all three, maybe not all of mankind, but you know the ones in on. I mean, if you think about it, to kill a human, that's gonna make them Strigoi, so it's gonna be like a really hard battle to fight.
Yeah, that's a really good point. On the back of the book, it says that Rose's mom is coming, so I feel like they're gonna have some sort of confrontation. Janine Hathaway might just join the squad of main characters, maybe. Like she might be more involved in the rest of the series. It also says that Rose has to join forces with Christian to rescue some other students. So I'm thinking there's going to be some Rose and Christian scenes, and I think that that's going to be very entertaining to watch because they're such similar
So,
people.
piggybacking off of what we talked about in the last episode, do you think Christian and Lissa are bonded?
No, I don't think so. Because when the bond formed between Rose and Lissa, it was because Lissa brought her back to life after she had already died. And Christian didn't actually die, he just got very injured and was about to die. And I feel like if they were bonded, we would probably know by now.
I'm excited to see all the banter between Rose and Christian, like while they're trying to save the day, just the constant, oh, I love Lissa more. I love Lissa more. I'm going to care for her. I'm going to care for her. I'm really excited. I love their banter, and I'm just ready to see where this goes.
Oh, there was a line in chapter 2 where Rose was talking to Christian and Lissa, and she said, "You guys should try solving your problems like we do. A fist fight here and there might do Royals some good." And Christian said, "What do you think? I bet I could take you if we went one on one." And so maybe since they have to team up, maybe Rose is going to try to teach Christian how to fight. Or because his aunt is coming and his aunt fought off Strigoi, maybe his aunt is going to also help teach Christian how to fight. And then Christian is going to use his fire magic and they're going to team up and kill a Strigoi. I have a theory that Dimitri isn't actually going to get involved with anyone and that Rose is just going to think he's involved with someone. And then so she's going to like way back off and get really depressed and then like try to retaliate by making him jealous with Mason.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna be a cat and mouse game. They're gonna give us a little bit and then take it away and leave us wanting more. Like, I'm so ready. I mean, with the way the first two chapters already went, when we do get it, it's gonna be a lot more fun filled, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like this book, there's a lot that's going to happen. I'm excited to meet Rose's mom.
I feel like at first she's gonna be disappointed and kind of give her a hard time. But I also see a big story arc being them fighting alongside each other and her mom finally being proud of her and her feeling fulfilled in some type of
Yeah, I
way.
could definitely see that. I do really like your theory that Dimitri's gonna fuck her mom.
I mean, what would the odds be though? Like mother, like daughter, hop on that thing. That
It
thing do be
honestly makes
thangin'.
sense too because in the last book and that one scene when he was bandaging her hands, he was like, "Your mom is a very respected woman." I wonder if he's wearing a duster in this scene.
I don't care. I don't care. No matter what Richelle Mead says, he is always wearing a duster. From this point on, he is always wearing a duster. I don't make the rules.
Big Daddy Duster do be dustin' though. Who do you think the 3 students that go after the Strigoi are? Who would be that stupid? Do you think it's Mason? Because then because it says that Rose and Christian have to go after them. Do you think it's like Mason and Lissa and somebody else? On the back of the book, it says, when 3 students run away to strike back against the deadly Strigoi, Rose must join forces with Christian to rescue them. And then it says, only this time Rose and her heart are in more danger than she could have ever imagined. So that would make sense for it to be Mason, because if we're right about Dimitri having a thing with somebody else, then Rose would fall back on Mason and then she would start to care about him. And then if he goes after the Strigoi, obviously Rose is going to go after him to stop him.
Mason, Lissa. Honestly, what if it's Natalie?
Natalie's dead.
What?
Natalie's dead.
What?
Dimitri killed Natalie.
Oh, I meant Mia.
How do you think Mia would get involved?
Who the fuck else would it be?
I don't know. Maybe we meet somebody else in this book.
It's gotta be, okay, Lissa, Mason. It's gotta be somebody we don't know.
Maybe it's one of the like Jesse or Ralph or something. I just don't see Mia willfully going after Strigoi. Aaron. Could it be Aaron? Could Aaron be involved? And that's why Lissa goes? And that's why Lissa goes.
Yes! Lissa, Mason, Lauren.
Think that Dimitri's gonna have to save Rose again in this book.
No, I do not think Dimitri will have to save Rose. I think Rose will have to save Dimitri.
I think that Rose and Dimitri are going to have some sort of falling out, and Rose is gonna have to learn how to save herself because Dimitri won't be there.
I think we'll get more cute scenes between Rose and Mason than we did between Rose and Dimitri in the first book, solely because it's not going to be a forbidden
What
relationship.
if Lissa becomes Strigoi? I don't see that happening. I could see Lissa dying, but I don't see her becoming Strigoi.
I don't think Lissa will become Strigoi because the more I thought about it, I just feel like that'd be too easy of an ending to guess. Like, everybody from the get go will have that thought, and I don't think Richelle Mead will make it that easy.
See, I keep thinking and hoping that I'm wrong about Dimitri or Mason dying for that same reason, because, like, the foreshadowing that has happened so far tells me that Dimitri is going to die. Pretty much everything that has happened to this point tells me that Dimitri is going to die. And maybe I just read a lot of morbid books, and maybe Richelle Mead is just like trying to trick us. But I keep hoping that she is trying to trick us because there's so much foreshadowing and I just don't want it to happen. I'm out of things to talk about for this chapter. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
I really think Dimitri is actually going to date somebody else. And I just have a lot of mixed feelings, honestly.
See, I am starting to wonder if Dimitri doesn't date someone else, but he like is talking to somebody a lot, or like seen around campus with somebody a lot. And so Rose starts to think that they're dating, and she just gets jealous. And her jealousy is probably stemmed mostly off of that darkness that we think she might be pulling away from Lissa.
All right, well, that's all I have to say.
That's all I have to say, too. Hey, it's future Ashley in editing. I just wanted to pop in and let y'all know that we did record an episode about the Vampire Academy movie, but it was a little too chaotic to post here. You can find that on YouTube by searching Boozy Bookshelf. Oh boy, what did you do today, bud?
Today, I went to work and then I took a fat nap afterwards.
I slept until like noon, and then I went to the beach and I read a book on the beach. I read Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. A very good book. Highly recommend it. Oh, what are we drinking and what did we read?
We are drinking Truly margaritas, margarita style, and we're reading chapters 3 and 4 of Frostbite from the Vampire Academy.
What flavor Truly do you have?
Mango chili.
Oh, I like that one. I have strawberry hibiscus. It's not my favorite.
That one kind of tastes like flowers.
I think hibiscus is a flower.
It is.
Oh gosh, I'm getting sleepy, so let's get into this. It's very late at night. We usually podcast right when we get off work, and it is 9:30 p.m. right now because I went to dinner. Okay, chapter 3 starts with Rose noticing that the students are excited about something as she rushes to practice the next day. Mason walks with her and they flirt. Rose is still trying to decide if they should date. He tells her that the academy students and their families will be going to a ski resort for Christmas break so that families can safely reunite. Rose is excited, but still reminds Mason that this is the result of people dying. Mason says that he wishes he could be out in the field to fight Strigoi. Rose tells him that they just aren't ready yet. They reach the gym and Mason leaves. Dimitri has set up practice dummies, and Rose sees that Dimitri is holding a silver stake. He flips it and catches it, and Rose predicts that he is going to ask her how they work and why she should be cautious. Dimitri is shocked that she already knows exactly what he's going to ask her, and he makes her conduct the lesson herself. And then Rose explains that it takes 4 moroi to make the stakes. They use each of the elements during the forging. The stake hurts Strigoi and will kill them if staked through the heart. Dimitri asks Rose where the heart is, and she points to the left side of the dummy's chest. Dimitri tells her that she is wrong and that she has to tell him where the heart is before she can even touch the stake. Rose goes to class in a bad mood. Mason finds her later. They banter and flirt, and on their way to the next class, Rose realizes that she actually does find Mason attractive. They get to class and see 3 guardians in the room. Rose is filled with rage when she realizes that one of them is her mother. Chapter 4 starts with Rose's mom being on campus to accompany the Moroi that she guards for the holiday. She is one of 3 guest speakers in class. Dimitri and some other guardians are also listening to the presentation. The other 2 guest speakers go first, telling stories about Strigoi encounters. And then Janine Hathaway steps in and tells her story, where she kills 2 out of 7 Strigois by herself and then saves the Moroi that had been captured. She mentions that it's extremely rare for Strigoi to work together in groups. Rose notices a flaw in her mother's story and asks how they hadn't originally made sure that there was no way the Strigoi were in the area. Her mother deflects the question, but Rose persists until the teacher kicks her out of class. Towards the end of the class period, her mom finds her in the hallway. Janine accuses Rose of having no sense of duty and is mad at her for leaving school for 2 years. Rose feels belittled and angry as her mom walks away. Then she's grumpy for the rest of the day. She hears a few people whispering about the confrontation. When she gets to her afternoon practice with Dimitri, she takes her anger out on the practice dummy and hits it right over the heart. They spend most of practice going over technique before he finally offers her the steak. He is surprised when she holds back, and she makes a comment about him always making her hold back, clearly referring to their lack of relationship. He tells her that she needs to balance and that some things need to be left alone. She knows that he is referring to the same thing, that she wonders if he still has feelings for her. Rose refocuses on the steak and gently takes it from Dimitri. Dimitri shows her what to do again, and then they practice. When it's time to leave, Dimitri tells her that she did a really good job. He also points out that she is a lot like her mother, and that's why they don't get along. She tries to protest, but Dimitri gives her a knowing look, and she knows that he understands her just as well as she understands him. Rose admits that she is jealous that her mom put more time into her reputation than her relationship with her. She also says that it seems like her mom was only in it for the glory and for the marks. Dimitri tells her to follow him because he wants to show her that some marks aren't a badge of honor.
What do you think that means? Like, what are you predicting come from some marks aren't a badge of honor?
I honestly have no idea.
I'm
Like,
going to sit here and I'm going to play you. Look at me, Ashley. Look at me. We have all these signs. Think about it. Think about it for a minute. We have all these signs. What could it mean? They have sex with the Strigoi.
they don't have sex with Strigoi. That's not what's about to happen. Do you think
This book's
he's
about to
taking
turn
her
into
to a Strigoi sex dungeon right
Strigoi orgy.
I don't think that that's what's about to happen. I honestly have no idea what's about to happen. I feel like there's probably somebody that I don't know. Some marks aren't a badge of honor.
Maybe it's somebody who had to like kill their family and he's showing them that it like still destroyed that person and that it's not a badge of honor question
Yeah,
mark.
I mean that's all that I could really think of is that he's taking her to speak to somebody that had something really traumatic happen to them.
I mean, I feel like she's already witnessed enough trauma and stuff. Like she was just at that house where those people were slaughtered. So like I don't know. Um
I don't think he's taking her to see somebody that has a lot of trauma because he literally was like, "Did you not learn anything at the Batica house?" I feel like he knows that she's like seen that, but I don't know. Maybe somebody has like a lot of the Strigoi tattoos and he's taking them to talk to them and they're going to be like not proud of it maybe.
yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying. Maybe somebody not traumatized, but will open her eyes and make her realize that that's not what it's all about because it still you still carry a lot of guilt.
Yeah. I agree.
How did you feel about Mason just coming in strong, telling Rose how pretty her smile is, calling her beautiful and charming? That gave me feels. I'm rooting for them even harder now.
I really liked their little flirty scenes while he was walking her to class. I love Mason. I love Mason so much. I think that this is the book where they get together for sure. Maybe not fully together, but I do think we're going to get more Mason than we do Dimitri in this book.
Yeah, I can see that. Dimitri, she says that she can't tell whether he's into her or not, but he's still giving her like a little hard time, like standing back and being like, "All right, since you know everything, you lead the lesson." Like that was a little flirty in my opinion. Like I think he's doing his best to rein it in, but I also think if she were to just open her eyes a little, she'd feel a little bit better. But we do want her with Mason, so maybe not.
See, I didn't take that as flirtatious at all from Dimitri. I feel like that was just him being like that was just showing Dimitri as a character, like giving him some like Like he's like being like funny. And it's kind of like a teacher move too to be like, well, if you know so much, then like you tell me what we're gonna do. I thought it was cute that Rose predicted what Dimitri wanted from her before he taught her how to use the stake. She definitely knows him very well. I'm surprised that he's still surprised by it, honestly.
I didn't know that silver stakes can harm Leroy too. I feel like we may have touched base on that, but I really didn't know that.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought that the silver stake was pretty much only useful if it like was pierced through the Strigoi heart, but she made it sound like just them touching it would hurt them.
She said it would have an impact on them, not as bad as Strigoi, but what would like a little paper cut from a stake do to Leroy? Like, what do you think would happen?
It would probably just like, well, the way I picture it in my brain is probably it just like burning more than a regular paper cut. Like it just hurts a little bit more. Maybe it takes a little bit longer to heal.
Are they able to hold them?
I don't know.
Rose did. Rose did quickly skim over that a steak has never been made with the spirit. What do you think will happen if they make a steak with the spirit?
God, I don't know. Maybe it could like bring some, like they like stake a dead body and it brings them back to
Do
life.
you think if they steak a strigoi with the spirit thing that they
It
are no
brings them
longer
back to.
they're
Yes.
Moroi now?
Yes.
Do you think that could? But they're getting stabbed through the heart.
Oh my gosh, wait, but we did say that we think that somebody's going to become Strigoi.
And Lissa can
And
heal people.
this is the spirit user.
Did we just figure out a main plot point? Question mark.
I think we did.
Oh my goodness.
I think we certainly did.
How do we feel about Rose's mom?
I think that Janine Hathaway is a fucking bitch. I understand that she had to leave her child at the academy for her duty as a guardian. I don't even have a problem with that. My problem is that if you're going to leave your daughter at this academy to be raised by strangers, fine, but at least maybe be nice to her.
Or like ask more questions before she attacks her. Like she has no idea what they went through before they left for 2 years, and she's standing there like, "You did it so you could go shopping and party and da da da." Like, no, motherfucker. I found out my friend has healing powers. I found out one of my teachers became a Strigoi. Somebody was after Lissa, which by the way, it was her uncle. Like, motherfucker, just calm the fuck down and give your daughter a chance to explain herself instead of being a cunt.
No, I feel like she needs to reassess. If you're gonna give your child over to the academy when it's like 2 years old, I feel like you don't really have a right, first of all, to be such a bitch to it later in life. Like, what does she care what Rose does? If she says Rose said that she hasn't seen her mom in like what 4 or 5 years. Why does her mom care? Why does her mom care?
I think it's because she knows what Rose is capable of. I think she's going about it in the worst way possible, but she is a damn peer and they are trained to be hardened fighters. I think she is just portraying her faith in Rose in the worst way possible because she did say, Rose was like, "Well, I've already caught up to all the seniors after I was gone for 2 years." And her mom was like, "And had you stayed, you would have surpassed them." And I think her mom is just is very misguided in her way of showing she's disappointed in Rose, but knowing she can do better. I still think she's a cunt, but I think she's coming from a place of endearment, and I think we're going to see that later on.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you think that Rose and her mom will ever be like close.
Oh, for sure. I see something big happening and them having to fight together, and then her mom being like, I shouldn't have treated you like that." Maybe not that, but I do see them coming to a common ground.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's going to be like a big conflict where they have to work together on something, and she's going to see that Rose is actually a really good guardian and has very good like tactical skills, and she's going to start to respect her a lot more and see her as more of an equal.
I agree. How did her dad die again?
So she doesn't know who her dad is. She doesn't know if her dad's alive or not.
Ooh. Oh my god, what if Rose's dad is like Strigoi?
That's an idea.
I doubt it though because he wasn't a Moroi,
I feel
right?
like we're gonna see her dad at some point, but I have no theories on how or why.
It's Victor, surprise.
I don't I don't think so. What do you think is going to happen on this ski trip?
I think we're gonna get some Mason Rose love. Not sure how much. Something bad is clearly going to happen. Like something bad is gonna happen on this ski trip because they keep it's safe. it's safe. It's going to be so safe and fun. And like, it's going to be the worst week of their life. I can already tell you that now. They've already been through some shit, but I'm, I'm not sure. Ooh, maybe some of the humans working there are the ones helping the Strigoi.
That's a good idea. I like that idea. Do you think that
Like they're run because they're opening the whole ski resort for the first time for like everybody. And maybe it's a way of rounding them all up.
yeah, no, I was already thinking that like Mason was saying that it'll be safe because there's going to be so many people in one place at one time, but I feel like that's exactly why it's not going to be safe. I feel like this is going to be like the beginning of a war or something.
Like, why would you not send them to different parts of the country? At least, like, separate the family. Like, why would you send all the royals and everybody to the same fucking place that's not gonna have the same wards? I highly doubt. Like, and it's a fucking ski resort. I've never been skiing, and that doesn't sound fun. Cold and hard, or cold and painful legs? No,
Why didn't they just have all the families meet at the academy?
because apparently the academy is not safe. I don't know. I really don't know.
But the academy is supposed to be like the safest place.
I feel like they grazed over that. I can't remember why though.
I don't know. Um, Rose is finally getting the hots for Mason.
I know, I'm so excited. She was like looking at him now with his cloudy eyes. He's actually kind of sexy. And I was like, yes, yes. What would their couple name be? Raisin?
Yes, Raisin. I am a Raisin fan.
Ew, what would Dimitri and Rhodes' name be?
It's
Dose?
it's
Remitri?
it's Romitri. I see it on Twitter all
Are
the
you
time.
serious?
It's Romitri.
Oh my god.
Oh, did I tell you the Vampire Academy TV show's Twitter page posted a tweet and literally all the tweet said was like Berea, which I'm probably saying that wrong. And all of the internet was freaking out about it. And so naturally I Googled what that means and was very careful to avoid spoilers, don't you worry. But apparently it means like something is coming.
But why would they tweet that? Like, unless they're about to release a new trailer or something.
I feel like we're about to get a trailer or a release date or something.
Is
Something
there not a
big.
release date?
No, they haven't posted anything.
I'm so excited. I I didn't have any more notes.
I think so. They mentioned in the book that Strigoi don't usually work in groups. And that's been mentioned multiple times that Strigoi don't work in groups. And I feel like they're mentioning that for a reason. I feel like there's going to be a massive group of Strigoi that comes for them at some point.
I feel like they maybe didn't understand Strigoi as much as they should have because when Rose's mom, or Janine, when she was talking about her story, she brought up how three of them had somehow infiltrated some big royal ball. And then afterwards, she found their hideout, and there's like so much more, and they were so shocked. But at this point, we've had so many instances where Strigoi clearly worked together. So I really don't understand where that thought process is coming from. I really don't.
Yeah, it reminds me of how in Twilight all the vampires that drink human blood are like nomadic and they don't work together because they like fight or something. I don't know. I feel like they just kind of assumed that the Strigoi had that kind of dynamic, but they probably do work in groups more often than they think.
I still think there's more to the Strigoi that meet the eye. I think. I mean, if you think they've. I'm not a Strigoi advocate by any means, but if you think about it, they've spent forever just killing them and killing them and killing them. Like, why would you not hold one captive and like try and talk to it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think that we're going to get a lot of Strigoi content at some point. I did notice in these sections that Rose still has very juvenile reactions to things right off the bat, but then when she steps back and like thinks about it, she does have a mature approach. And that's something that we did not see in the last book. She was very like go with her gut instinct, and her gut instinct was usually very childish.
I feel like in the last book she was only acting somewhat mature because things were happening between her and Dimitri. But I think we're gonna see her kind of slip up and be like the rambunctious teenager again. But I also see her calming down now that her mom's there, even though she kind of resents her mom. I think she's gonna do her best to kind of prove her wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I think that she calmed down a lot like halfway through the last book because she was trying to prove to Dimitri that she could be mature, and now she probably doesn't care about that as much since there's no realistic way that they could be together. And so she's probably kind of loosened up a little bit again, but I feel like I think something is going to happen in this book that is going to make her mature very rapidly. Do you have any theories as to who Dimitri's side boo is going to be?
Tamara. It's gonna be Tamara. It has to be Tamara. Like I'm not. It's gonna be her.
Is tomorrow the female guardian?
Yes.
Um, who else is on campus that isn't usually there? You said before that it was going to be Rose's mom, and I still don't think that that's going to happen, but I could honestly see it.
I never actually thought that would happen, but I think it would be so fucking funny if she walked in on him just bending her mom over. Like
What a twist of events. No, I don't think that's going to happen,
look out,
but I
Colleen
do
Hoover. Here comes the biggest twist of the century.
giving Colleen Hoover a run for her money with that one. No, I don't think that that's going to happen, but I do think that that would be very entertaining. Um, God, I don't know. Who else is on camp? Well, she said that like
Watch him
everybody's gonna.
bang Mia.
Oh fuck! Has Mia been in this book?
I think she was in it briefly at the beginning. Yeah, because she was like, Mia didn't waste no time trying to get her revenge, like talking shit, you know?
Oh yeah. I liked the scene where Dimitri complimented her on her steak skills, but I'm worried that that's going to be their only cute moment that they have in this entire book, and it lasted about one line.
I mean, I'm cool with that, honestly. I wasn't cool with that at the end of or the first book, but Mason's coming in hot, and Rose deserves that kind of love and compassion right now. I feel like it's gonna help her shape into a better version of herself. So I really don't care about the Dimitri Rose love scenes. I feel like we're gonna get some cute heart swelling scenes before, during, and after some mass homicide. But
Do you think that this is the book where people start dying?
yeah, it started out with slaughter. Yes, this is the book that is people dying.
Who do you think's gonna die?
Mason.
You think Mason's gonna die in this book?
I I don't know. I mean, Christian might die.
I still don't think Christian's gonna die.
Why?
I just don't see it happening. Okay, if they're gonna kill any of the main group of people, I feel like the one that nobody will care about is gonna be Mason. So Mason, yes, Mason's gonna die. Something's gonna happen to Mason. The next person, if I were Richelle Mead, if I were writing this book, I would kill Mason, and then in like the last book, I would kill Dimitri. Thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Boozy Bookshelf. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave us a review on Apple. It really would help us out. Also, please feel free to reach out on social media. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram by searching Boozy Bookshelf.